going to do a test. Test. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning on this beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you to Joe for bringing the good weather. And if I can ask you all to please find a seat. We're going to get started momentarily. Thank you. Jeffrey? Hello, everybody. If I can please have your attention. Good morning. Okay, everybody, you know if Joe Winters was up here, I'd have everybody's attention. If I can ask you to find your seats, there are seats here in the front. Please join us. We have some seats over here as well. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, and I would like to get started by introducing Ryan Doherty on the bagpipes. If I can ask everybody to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Wow, that was incredible. So beautiful. I want to give a special thanks to Ryan Doherty on the bagpipes and Jeffrey on the marimba. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank everyone today for being here. As you can imagine, it's very difficult for me to be standing here, as it should be my husband, Joe. So I stand here with a very heavy heart, yet my heart is so overwhelmed with such gratitude. Because I know Joe is smiling down on this ceremony with such pride. And he would want me to express how grateful he is for everyone's love, unwavering support, and dedication in developing the Winter Center for Autism. Yet most of all, for making his vision come to life. I want to share a personal story about Joe. As many of you know, Joe is extremely ambitious, determined, a true visionary, always thinking outside of the box. Joe had many ideas, but this was an extraordinary one, and I remember it as clear as day when it came to him. Of course, it was 3 a.m. in the morning. Garbage hours, he would say. I was awoken by, "I've got it, Shelley, I've got it. I know my purpose. I know what I'm meant to do." At first, I thought he was talking in his sleep, or I was dreaming. I wasn't. He continued to explain to me that every experience, opportunity, challenge faced, risk taken, everything he learned, earned, and accomplished has brought him to what he felt was his true calling. And he said to me in his own words, "This is it, Shell. I'm opening a center for autism. Not only because our son Sean inspired Joe every day, but for everyone with autism who deserves to live a meaningful, productive, and purposeful life. To be a part of a community that they so willingly deserve." I never thought in my wildest dreams that this would happen. I never thought in my wildest dreams that without Joe this would be possible. And it's because so many people who love Joe, like I do, came together and worked endlessly to make sure his vision and dream came true. And that is why we're all standing here today. Joe's vision, Joe's dream. I remember saying to Joe, "You're crazy. How are you possibly going to run an autism center?" And he said to me, "Shell, I know the perfect person." And this angel stands here today, Chris Ponzio. For without you, Christine, the center would not be possible. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Chris, her entire team, my entire family, my 2 beautiful sons, Patrick and Sean, who bring so much purpose to my life, and everyone who has contributed to this mission. I want to thank you all for your love and loyalty to Joe, your commitment, determination, and perseverance, but mostly for the autism community and for making Joe's dream come to fruition. Thank you very much, everyone. Our Executive Director, Chris Ponzio.
I've never written a speech, and I tried to, but it might not work, so from the heart. Thank you, Michelle, for your beautiful words. And I look around this room, and there's just so many people to thank. And I really just wanted to start by saying that if you've heard the phrase, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And thank you to Michelle, Patrick, the Winters family, to all of the people here. We have over 55 businesses and trades. We have the families and our participants who trusted us when really we were just winging it. To all of our supporters who have been front and center with us at every event, even the ones that didn't happen when we took a mulligan during the pandemic for golf. You, Michelle, inspire me, your determination, your compassion, your visits to our work sites. And Sean, you are such an inspiration to see the life that Sean Winters lives, the inspiration for this center. We know, and Joe knew what people with autism were capable of if given the opportunity, if given being surrounded by people who believe in you. We have elected officials here. We have townships here. I don't know who's running some of the towns today, by the way, because I see so many of you, and I'm so grateful. To the organizations who've been doing hard work for years, Life's Work, NSSA, Community Resources, we have Palamine, we have Music Academy, we have so many people sitting here that have been working with people with special needs tirelessly through really, really challenging times. And it takes people like Joe, Michelle, and the Winters family to help us in the nonprofit to make those connections. And I will tell you, as somebody who has sat, and thank you, Steve, wherever our CFO is, for free in the Winters Brothers offices for the last 2 years, I have witnessed a company that has changed lives while doing great business. And I just, yes, thank you, Rich. I just want to share, and thank you to our employer partners who are here, because you came and saw what was happening at Winters Brothers, and I said, we don't have a center ready yet, but we think this can work, and you believed us, and now 70% of the people that we started our transition program with are competitively employed. 70% of people with autism that we work with. This building started with Joe's understanding and vision that 90% of people with autism are unemployed, and that's not okay. So we work together. I see our town supervisors here, our county executive, presiding officers, and you are helping us to make this work. Our senators, our New York State senators, we have support in all the right places, and that's, again, because of all of the people who were inspired and loved Joe. I want to share a very quick story. Oh, I forgot to look at my speech, but that's okay. I was here the other night, and as our construction manager and general contractor can tell you, they would love when I'd walk around at night because I'd make lists and text them. And as I was walking around, nobody was here. We had a big, I think it's called a container. I used to call it a dumpster, but now I call it a container. We had a container, and we have people working 24/7, 7 days a week, many of them donating all of their time, talent, and expertise. And there was a man in the dumpster, and he was taking metal out. And I was watching him, and he came out, and there was some debris on the front lawn. And I said, "Good afternoon," and I waved to him. And then he came over, and he said, do you know the Winters? And I said, "Yes, I do." And you know, he clearly put in a hard day's work. He was pretty messy, pretty sweaty, it was pretty hot. And I said, "I do." And he said, "You know, I know the brothers. I grew up with them." He said, I drove for a little while," and then he laughed, and I think he said, "I know Jimmy, and he respects how I drive, but not in one of his trucks." And he proceeded to say, "You know, I don't really have the business mind that they have, and you know, I didn't make it big like they did." He goes, "But I have to tell you," he said, "every one of those brothers, when they see me, they stop, they shake my hand, they ask me how I am, and they ask about my family." He said they never forgot where they came from, and they're always kind people. And I share that with all of you because everybody in this room, whether you're here because you believe in this project and you're going to be serving food or cutting hair or doing music lessons, or you're somebody who sent your entire crew after one of my crazy texts at your own cost, and Patrick has lots of people to thank. You're here because this represents what that man represented, the good in humanity. And if there's ever been a time where we need good in humanity. It's happening here on this campus, and thank you all for being a part of it. When we lost Joe, I never for a minute thought about this project. And I had colleagues reach out to me and say, "What are you going to do? You just left a place. You were at 30 years. What are you going to do?" And I really said, I don't know. I think I'm going to do what I was supposed to do. And I realized that nobody really knew that behind Joe, with Joe, beside Joe, was this incredible family. This family that just has this core value system that makes things happen. And it's contagious to get other people to help, to want to be part of it, to do good, to be good. And one of the blessings that I believe that Joe left us with is his children. And all of the Winters children who are now the next generation of that humanity and that goodness. And I invite to accept this plaque from the Winters Center for Autism to the Winters Family Foundation, the next generation, and our board president, and as I say often to his mom, a chip off the old block when we're meeting and texting at 6:30 a.m., Patrick Winters.
Thank you. I don't know how I'm going to follow those two speeches up, but I'm going to try my best. All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here on what is truly a historic and pivotal day for the autism community. My father stood in this very spot a few years ago, and he said that his dream was that in 5 years, every workforce in Long Island will include people with autism. Today, on a day that would have been his lifelong achievement, he is smiling down on us. Today, we take the biggest step to date in realizing his dream, and there are so many people that have come together to realize this vision. Before I get into that, I want to thank my mother for her courage, strength, and perseverance in the midst of tragedy to see Dad's vision through. We are all so proud of you. And I want to thank all my uncles and my family for their support. My dad said at the groundbreaking that your parents would be very proud of you, and that remains true to this day. It is truly humbling to see what happens when good-hearted people get together to do something for the greater good, and I can't express enough our gratitude to everyone who joined us in this journey in what was a very difficult but rewarding road. My grandfather always said that if it was easy, everyone would do it. Believe me, it wasn't easy, but through perseverance, we have made it here today. I would like to make a special acknowledgement to people who have been with us from the very beginning, meeting every week, sometimes more, and getting their business contacts involved to make this happen, and putting in countless amounts of time for our mission. So please join me in thanking, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce anybody's names, because there's a lot of them, but John Cameron from Cameron Engineering, Alex Badalamenti, you could keep clapping, it's okay, BLD Architecture, Jeff D'Italia from GM Pietro and Associates, Kevin Barry from United Service Workers Union, Long Island and New York Mechanical Contract Association, including President Craig Schiavone and Gandhi Schiavone from Savmore Mechanical, Ken Phillip and Rich Armelino from A&F Fire Protection, Mitch Cooper from Cooper Power and Lighting, John Guadagno from IBEW Local 25, Art Seaberger from FW Sims, John Savastano and the Savastano family from All Island Excavating, Eugene Kempe from Kempe Engineering, our very own Patrick Fazio, Jay Perone from 5K Development, and Phil de Blasio and Mike Viggy from de Blasio Builders, and all the incredible businesses who have supported this effort. Thank you. I would also like to thank all the companies listed on our banners. As Chris said, we have over 55 businesses that have contributed to this project over the past couple of years, which is truly amazing. Please accept our gift to you as a reminder of what can happen when we all come together to make our dreams a reality. We have plaques for you guys on the back for later. I also want to thank our employer partners. Oh, someone got that? I wasn't there to catch it. I also want to thank our employer partners who are joining us in this building and the people who have been with us from the very beginning, even during the pandemic and still to this day. So please join me in thanking Dr. Jim Powell and Janet Pepper from Long Island Select Healthcare, Gabby and Gigi Aharoni from Yo-Nida International Trading, and Jack Mandel from the Bead Market, and the people who are going to be joining us in this building, Mike Giraldo from Mike's Custom Cuts, the Danzy family from Long Island Hotels, Nellie Morell from Nellie's Empanadas, the Music Academy for Special Learners, and Matt St. Jean from Rally to Give. All of you have taken a leap of faith with us, believing in our mission from the day we first spoke. You are all true pioneers, and you are all setting the example for the autism community in Long Island when we say to hire for a higher purpose. Thank you. Oh, and Nick Hartcorn from Hartcorn Plumbing, I'm sorry. I also want to thank the 18 individuals and their families who trusted us to do transition training with community employers over the past year and a half. Today, more than 70% of those folks who began job training are now competitively employed, earning a paycheck, and most important, they have a purpose and they're a part of a team. And last but not least, I want to thank all of our supporters. Through donations, attending our events, volunteer work, grant programs, and our employees, your relentless effort and belief that people with autism can do and achieve great things is what led us here today. You are at the core of our success, and you have helped us create things that we wish existed. So in closing, our work is not yet complete. As my father said, it is going to take an entire community to make our dreams a reality. In just a year and a half, between Winters Bros, our employer partners, and our center, and we haven't even had a building, we have employed over 30 adults with autism. And when this building opens, we're going to have 40 more adults right away. We haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do. And I ask you all to do all your part in raising awareness, telling everybody about what we're doing, challenge our community to give these hardworking adults an opportunity that they deserve. My father could not have said it better himself. The bottom line is every person with autism deserves to live a meaningful, productive, and fulfilling life, just like the rest of us. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. I'd like now to introduce Town Supervisor Rich Schaefer, who has been a supporter with us from day one. And before he speaks, I just want to say thank you from the entire Winters family for everything you've done for us and everything you can do for us. Thank you.
Great, now I've got to follow that speech as well. It goes without saying that, and to Michelle, to Patrick, to Sean, how grateful we are that you allow us to be a part of this. It's not about what we can do for you, but actually what you're doing for us. And I think Chris hit it right on the head when we're talking about humanity and good people coming together to do good things. That's what this is all about. Tony Martinez is here. Where's Tony? Who's our deputy supervisor and councilman. Dwayne Gregory, one of our town board members, is here. Tom Donnelly, who is a former town board member, now a member of the county legislature, is here with me. And Kevin McCaffrey, who is our presiding officer, also from the town of Babylon. I'm just going to tell you real quick, I remember the day we sat in our favorite table at the Olympic Diner, and Joe had summoned me over for a breakfast, not at 3 a.m., but close, 7 a.m., and he had to tell me about that idea that he had. And he said, we purchased a building. I said, were there any buildings left on Mahan Street for you? And he said, yeah, we got a great building and we're going to make it into a center for autism. Because we want to make sure, as it's been said, that every person gets an opportunity to live a good life. And we mapped it out on the back of a napkin Wish I would have saved that knowing where we are today. But it was all spelled out. And he had the idea. He knew exactly where he was going, which way he was going. And from there, this took off. And we were grateful to be here for the groundbreaking pre-COVID. And unfortunately, God had other plans for him. But I think God put him exactly where he needed to be in order to get this going. And there are so many families that have already benefited from this. So many individuals who have already benefited from this because of his foresight. And Jimmy and the other brothers continuing to do this, we're grateful for that. The town has had a very small part of it, but Chris, you can add us to your list of employers. Where's Chris? Chris, add us to your list of employers because we're excited about having people coming through here, being trained, and becoming part of the Town of Babylon family. I will tell you that we've already hired someone not who's gone through here, but someone who is who's on the spectrum, been diagnosed, and is high functioning as one of our janitors. And the good part of that was not only he is the most pleasant, smiling, bright-eyed employee, because some of them kind of growl. Ed, you know this, right? When you walk by, they kind of growl. But this individual, Brandon, is right on point each and every day. And his supervisor is a guy named Jimmy. And Jimmy said, "Where did you find Brandon?" I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong with Brandon? He's doing a great job." He says, "Yeah, but he's also got the other guys all ticked off because he's working harder than them." And I said, "Well, that's going to be the motivating factor here. We are going to make sure that we have graduates from this center in each and every department so that they can, too, enjoy the dream of being employed in a town government job, that they can continue to live a great life." And that's what we're going to do in memory of Joe. So, Michelle, if you would come up. Chris, if you, Patrick. So this is just from us, with our love and respect for all that Joe meant to us, all that you've meant to us, continuing the dream, finishing this. We'd ask you to hang this proudly. The certificate of occupancy is on the back here, so that we're legit. And you will be, and I want to just give a shout out to Maggie Henry, who I know is so close to the Winters family. And Maggie was the second person. So if it wasn't Joe who was talking to me about this, Maggie was the second person because of how much this meant to her Blakey, and the Henry family. And that's why we're here today, to give you this. A little bit after the ceremony, we're also going to unveil the street sign, because the town board has taken an action to rename Mahon Street. And I won't ruin the surprise, but we'll do that a little bit later on.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Now I want to introduce County Executive Steve Ballone, who is a dear friend of ours, has been a supporter from day one from this project. So without further ado, County Executive Ballone.
Good morning. It is wonderful to be here. This is truly a celebration to be here today on this beautiful day. Thank you, Joe. I remember having a conversation with Joe many, many years ago on this issue. It was also at a diner, as are all discussions on Long Island. This one was across from Town Hall. And I remember him bringing up this idea. It was just an idea that he had. This is something he wanted to do in the future. And of course, my reaction was not to say, "Are you crazy, Joe?" Didn't feel it was my place to be able to say that. I did think to myself, though, that's a big, big job. Because what he was talking about was taking on a challenge that is really the responsibility for all of us in this society. And something that collectively, quite honestly, we have failed to do to this point, which is to make sure that we're doing everything we can to give everyone in our community an opportunity to reach their potential. And he pointed out that, kids on the autism spectrum, when they reach 21, that's it. The services are done. And you have older families that are taking care of their children on the autism spectrum, and they're living at home, and they don't have jobs to go to. And he said, we have to do something about that. And, there's a difference between the people who have ideas and thoughts. Lots of people have ideas. A lot of people share them with me all the time. The difference is those very, very few people in our world who take those ideas that are incredible challenges and have the dedication and the perseverance and the will to turn them into reality. And that is what we are celebrating here today. We're celebrating the realization of a vision from one of the people who had the biggest hearts of anyone I've ever encountered. The perseverance, the will, the courage of Michelle and Patrick and Sean and this family to move forward despite this devastating loss and to make this happen. Michelle, this doesn't happen. There's no one who would have thought for a second that if this didn't happen, that was a surprise or this is what happens in life. But you and Patrick and this family, you made sure that didn't happen. You made sure that this dream was realized. And because of that, countless people in our community, today, years from now, and decades from now, are going to have their lives changed because of what you did. I said to Joe that day, you're 100% on point. If you do that, I'll do anything I can to support you. I'm very proud that Suffolk County is partnering with the Winter Center for Autism and have been partnering to provide paid training and workshops, virtual workshops with employers. And I can say that working with the center and Christine, and thank you for your amazing work, we're going to be hosting a forum with 400 employers this fall to encourage them, including all governments in Suffolk County who will be encouraging to do as the town is doing here in Babylon to make sure we're hiring people out of this center. So to Michelle, Patrick, Sean, the Winters family, Jimmy, thank you for what you've done here, what you've built here, because it will create lasting change in our community and in our county. And I can say that joining with our presiding officer, as he has his proclamation there, Kevin McCaffrey, as well as Suffolk County Legislator Tom Donnelly, all the members of the legislature, that on this day of celebration, we are very proud to designate today, June 15th, 2022, as Joe and Michelle Winters Day here in the town of Avalon forevermore, and in Suffolk County.
Want to play the video? Okay. Thank you again, County Executive. That is humbling. It's unbelievable. So now we're going to share a quick video with you guys just to see what all these businesses and your support have led to thus far. So without further ado, if you guys like to play the video.
So our journey begins here today with this groundbreaking. We have the right people, the right facilities, and the right programs to be successful. And starting tomorrow, we will be out visiting companies to let them know about this great opportunity. The bottom line is every person with autism deserves to live a meaningful, productive, and fulfilling life, just like the rest of us. And it's going to take the whole community to come together to make this happen. My dream is that in 5 years from now, every company on Long Island will have a workforce that includes people with autism. So please join me, Long Island, and hire for a higher purpose.
Growth. Friendship.
Thank you. Best are the winters for believing in me.
Thank you, Mr. Winters.
I just want to thank you for this proud moment that I'm going to be working here in the future, and you've definitely changed my life for the better of myself having more opportunities and having more experience. So thank you very much, and I'm excited to work here.
This is the future!
I thank my brothers and the entire Winters family for supporting Michelle and I to make this vision a reality. I am certain that our mom and dad would be very proud of all of us.
Thank you. So, in closing, I want to share a quick story that I haven't shared even with my family. So, when my father passed, I went through his phone because I had to, scramble and see who he was talking to and try and figure everything out, right? And he had these notes on his phone, and it was called his 2021 Step into Greatness, which was his goals. And he didn't share anybody any of his goals. He was a goal-driven guy, but this is what he wrote to himself, and a lot of them are golf goals. But but one of the number one was get the Winter Center, and this is his words: get the Winter Center for Autism built and on its feet and flourish. I really want to be remembered for helping people who need it the most. And that moved me because he didn't share that with anybody, and that was, it really shows you that everything that he's done, all these people that he's connected with, all the hard work that he did, he really meant it for the goodness of his heart. And that's what this is all about, and we're going to make that happen for him and for the entire autism community. So thank you again, and I'd like to now invite my family up so we can cut the ribbon on the Winter Center for Autism. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Me too.